Will Carmelo Anthony survive prison? What is going on with Carmelo Anthony right now, since he's actually has been sentenced to 35 years in prison for getting a kid together? That's just how that's how we gonna put it. I'm not gonna go too much into the case because you should already know what's going on that you even clicked on here, but I'm just gonna give a little prison insight because I was a former correction officer. So I'm just gonna go through, maybe some things that he may actually be going through right now, and I'm also gonna give my opinion on if I think Carmelo Anthony will survive prison, because this has turned into a race thing due to social media and everything. But anyway, let's move forward. Okay, so after he was sentenced, obviously the guards is going to take him away, yada yada yada. Okay, but after that, he might stay for maybe a day in the jail or whatever, but he is going to be moved to a reception. Okay, first, when you are sentenced and you have to go do state time, you have to go do your time, you're going to go to a reception prison, not or jail, intake, right? Intake facility. Okay, you're not gonna go directly to, it's still prison, but it's like OJT if you on the job, on the job training. Okay, it's an intake facility, and at that facility they're gonna do things like classification, right? At intake, you're either going to stay there 30, 60, 90 days. Every state is different. Every process is different. It might even be 2 weeks, right? But I think it'll be a little bit longer than 2 weeks. But it'll be either 30, 60, or 90 days that you'll stay in intake, right? At your intake facility. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to get your classification. Okay, what that means is that they're actually going to look at the crime that you committed, if you have any priors, things like that, whatever, and they're going to classify you as to, where you should go next. Are you going to go to, are you getting your first DUI, or, are you doing time for a DUI or something like that? You might go to a medium or a minimum, right? It all depends, right? But you're murderers and stuff like that, they're going to be maximum. Okay, so for his crime, he will be sent to a maximum security prison. So you got max, medium, minimum. Okay, that's your classifications, right? Your minimums is like typically like your shot camps. Sometimes you don't get sentenced to prison, you get sentenced to like shot camp and stuff like that. It might be a little 90-day program, or 6 months or something like that, or whatever. Or some people get when they're getting closer to being released, they get declassified to minimum status if they've had a good record and all of those different types of things. So they get to be sent to a medium or a minimum, and they may have certain privileges like whatever, different things, right? But in Carmelo Anthony's case, let's just stick to him. He is going to be classified maximum. Okay, so his first prison is he's going to be sent to a maximum. He's doing 35 years. He got a lot of time, and it's a violent crime, right? So but also at intake, what's going to be happening is your medical. Okay, you're gonna get all your shots, you're gonna get all your exams and stuff. They want to make sure whatever diseases or whatever you got, whatever, they trying to make sure you good. You know what I mean? They trying to go through all of that stuff. So they're gonna go through your medical, they're gonna go through your dental as well, they're gonna go through your dental, your vision, things like that, whatever. But all of that stuff, right? And also you're gonna go see a mental health person as well. See where you at. They might classify you mental health. We got 1 through 6, or we got 1 through 6, and then we got 1S right here in New York State or whatever, right? So you're gonna get your mental health and all of that stuff. Make sure you good, especially for someone like him he's young, never been in trouble. This is his first big, you know what I mean? So that he's definitely going to meet with a mental health counselor and things of that nature. And then also he's going to get his clothes, right? He's going to get his clothes, his clothes and his shower shoes and all of that type of stuff. Your boots, inmates have boots. And yeah, that's what's going to be going on. And also what has already been leaked, what happens at reception and things like that, is, or not leaked, but released, whatever you want to call it, is he's going to get his ID photo, right? He's going to get a haircut and he's going to get his ID photo. And this is him, right? So you see his hair, he's got a haircut. He's got the white backdrop. So this is going to be his ID photo until he gets to his next facility. When he actually goes to his actual, he's always you're typically gonna always go and see ID, right? When you get there, whatever. But yeah, that's that, right? So these are things that go on in reception. Like what I said. So yeah, you're gonna go to intake or your reception prison. You'll stay there for however long they get all this stuff done. This stuff is not gonna all be done in one day or whatever. It takes it takes a little process. That's why I said 30, 60, or 90 days, for you to go see mental health, go see the dentist, go see get your physical and all of that, those types of things or whatever. And also this will be an opportunity also for them to do your diets as far as your food and stuff like that, because if you have like different special allergies and all that type of stuff or whatever, they'll be doing that stuff. And also at this time, he's meeting new friends, which, as crazy as it sounds, he's meeting new friends at this time, because they're all going through the process together. Everyone at intake, you're all going through this together right now. When you get classified, you're going different spots, but this is where he's going to meet his first batch of quote unquote friends. Right. So that's that is that as far as his first little couple of days and weeks. That's pretty much how that's gonna go. Now, as far as do I think he'll survive, I do think he will survive. I know that there is a big race thing going on, and this made national news. So the inmates already know about him before he even arrives. Okay, they're waiting on him. All right, but I think that, and I could be wrong, but just from what I've seen and observed, I do think the Black community will rally behind him and protect him from the whites. Okay, now he could still get got. He's gonna have to did he finish school? I can't remember if he finished school or not, but he's gonna have to go to programs. Eventually when he goes to jail and when he goes to prison and really get acclimated, not reception, but when he goes to prison and get acclimated and stuff, he's going to be going to programs, because you're either going to go to programs or you're going to work. One of the two. Programs could be college, if you still got to get your school, like as far as GED, you're going to be doing that. If you're not doing anything like that, then you're going to be sent to work, right? You're going to either work in the school building, or you're going to be a porter on the house, or you're going to be a porter somewhere else. You're going to be working. They're going to put you to work. Okay. They're going to get that sweat equity out of you. Okay. You're young. They're probably going to put you in the field. They might put you in horticulture or something, have you out there planting shit and all types of stuff like that. Okay. They're going to put you to work where they need you. You strong. You look young, healthy. They need you out there doing. You're not going to have a cushy job. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to have a kickback chilling with Nah, they gonna put you to work in the beginning, okay? You got to earn your stripes, man. So they gonna have you out there, all right? In that hot sun. Oh yeah, it's summertime. You went to jail. You went to prison right on time. It's gonna be hot out there. But anyway, never mind all that. But so he is going to, when he gets to prison, there is gonna be there's gonna be tension throughout this whole thing, because social media has turned it into a race thing, and it's not. All right, it's not. I know it may be an unpopular opinion. He's black. He killed a white guy. Oh, this is race. This isn't about race, okay? Honestly, but whatever. I'm not gonna get into it like that. I just want to give a little breakdown of what I think on what's gonna go on the prison side, but. So as far as like typically with inmates that are unknown, they're going to have to do their paperwork, either bring their paperwork to the yard or whatever, whoever's the boss on the housing unit, whatever, and on the cell block, whatever, he going to have to show his paperwork to somebody, right? But somebody like him, not necessarily, because his case was so publicized, like it was out. They know what he did. They know what's what. So I think he would have protection off the rip. I think some OGs, some of the older guys will come through and get behind this kid, whether it's right or wrong, whatever. It is what it is. And inside of prison, it's a race thing. Everything is race. Okay. So there's gonna be some Caucasians after him. Okay, they gonna want to make a name. There's gonna be some young Caucasian right now that's waiting to make rank and if I cut up Karmelo, I'm gonna rank up or whatever. It is that there might be a price on his head. I'm not gonna lie. Get justice for dude and all of that stuff, but I do think the black community inside of prison will rally behind this guy. And he's in there. He's not in there for a weirdo crime. Like, we know them weirdo crimes when you messing with them, he's in there for a violent crime. So, I think there will be some older guys that rally around him and, help him out, but with that being said, this was on the news. And what comes with being on the news is that people know that his family got money from this whole situation. Okay? From donations, X, Y, and Z. They buying new cars, things like that. So what can also be a problem for him is that even though I think he would get protection, there could be people in the black community that may want him to pay for protection as well. And I say that because they know that the kid family got money. So that may be a problem for him as well. And also Karmelo is going to have to get used to, spreading his cheeks, you know what I'm saying? Bending over, cough, open your mouth. Let me see inside your mouth. You're going to have to get used to that because there's going to be a CO telling you that, seeing you naked, and letting you know what you can and cannot do, your every move, man. Which, you know, the CO got to tell you when you can shower. The CO got to tell you when you can go to the yard, or when you can go play basketball, or when you can go get commissary, or when you can go see your family. You know, when your family come to visit you, your family could come and visit you and they could deny your visit. You know, it's a whole bunch of other stuff. This young man has made a stupid decision, and he is going to live to regret it. He is probably crying right now. Okay. There has been moments since he's been in that he has cried. Trust me. Okay. At night when he's laying on that hard, thin ass mattress with metal underneath, he's crying because this young man, for a split second decision, gave up his freedom for a life in prison. So that's what I think. That's my thoughts on what I think Karmelo's next couple of weeks, months, and all that different type of stuff may actually look like. This young man made a stupid decision, man. And it's life. There's probably going to be a price on his head, but I do think he'll get protection. But I also think some guys is going to get some money up out of him and up out of his parents, because this has been all over. Okay. But yeah, this is a different type of video. I don't do videos like this all the time, but it is a little bit different. Switching it up a little bit and just giving you my thoughts on what I think life for him will be like in prison. It's gonna be a bumpy road, and trust me, he is regretting it, and he is crying. Okay, the men be crying. Don't get it fucked up. But anyways, yeah, so that's my takes on it. I'll catch you in the next video.